We're live. We're back. It's that time of the month. It's time for me to share this with people. It's been a busy few weeks. It's been a busy month. Let me get this posted. Oh, my computer wants to run slow now because that's just how it works. Right. Let's get this posted. Obviously, I did announce that this was happening. Just now need to get it posted in a few places. I should do this in advance, right? I should make the thing and have it go live, but have it hidden, and then add it. Then bring it out for everyone to see. But I'm not organised, so. Oh. How's it going, Ivan? How's it going, Kirk? Tonight's going to be fun. There's some really cool things to do, actually. Get to look at one of my favourite players. It's there, posted there. Now I need to post it on. My brain is shot right now. It's been a long day. It's been a long week. It's been a long month. It's been a long year. It's been a long life. But I can't complain. We're one step closer to having a studio. Obviously, I'm not in it right now. This is not my studio. We are building. No, I don't want to make this a promotion. But you know what I do? I want to do an Instagram video. Hello, Chip. I know. Kirk, you're going to get to see the growth again. We're going to get to go through the whole rigmarole of seeing the original shithole that my videos used to be. And it's going to gradually look better and better and better. But this time we're going to reach peak awesomeness. It's never going to be better. I start building my room within a room for my studio next week, hopefully. Let me do a live video. It's Inception. Hello everybody out there on Instagram. Yes, it's me, your friendly neighborhood transcriber man. Let's go with that. I am currently live on YouTube. So come and say hello to all these good people. Look, there's comments. We're going to be transcribing some Verheyen. We're going to be talking music. We're going to be having a good time. So join us over on youtube.com/Levi Clay. I'm sure you'll find it. Latest. Stephen, how's it going? Wait for the video, Supercut, going from here to the finished studio. Yeah, I mean, hopefully it's not going to take all that long. Marty, thanks for helping you out with outlining your chord tones. It's the best way to do things. And Tim, how's it going over in Denver? I'm going to start getting videos together. It's been a long day. I've just got back from my local game shop where I've played some Magic. I've unwound. It's been the first time I've really had I've laughed all week. It's just been work, lifting things, moving boxes. Our house is still a state. Builders in and out, decorators in and out. It's just an absolute nightmare. And I was looking forward to going into the shop on Tuesday to play with my play group, but no one came in, so I had to wait till today. And tonight has just been lots of fun, and that's what you need. You need that to stop yourself from going insane. So I am not insane, thankfully. I now need to go through and find all of these videos that we're going to be looking at and transcribing. Scrolling. Can everybody hear me okay? That's probably a key question, isn't it? Scrolling. Now, I should tell you what I'm doing. I'm currently scrolling through my Patreon group on Facebook. And, you know, to give you an idea of just how much, you can hear how much I'm scrolling. Lots of good content gets posted in there. Great little group. That's peaking a bit, isn't it? Let me adjust that. How's that? It's not as bad. We will get there. We will get there. I also need to do a monthly update video. Where are all these videos? Can't have posted this many videos. Maybe I did. Okay, yeah, it was the lead up to the end of the month. There we go. Verheyen playing some blues. Verheyen solo. Verheyen LA amp show. Is that it? I think that's it. So we've got three videos to look at, which, you know, that'll keep us busy, right? Oh, I need to adjust my microphone, my audio system, so things are coming through my ear. Now, I've not checked to make sure that when I do that, the audio, you're hearing the audio. That's going to be problematic. That was the one thing I didn't check. Let me check that. And if not, I'm going to have to work out why that would be. Please. Yes, you can hear the audio. Great. Great news. Anyway, yeah, I should just bring this up. Just mention the Patreon. My Patreon's dipped month on month for the last few months, so if anyone out there is wanting to throw a few dollars my way, you can head on over to the link in the description. Support me for as little as $1. Every little helps, and it gets you access to my private Patreon-only Facebook group. Lots of fun stuff going on in there. So, yeah, be a good guy. Go and do that. Right, so let me check the comments. We'll do the usual chat thing. We'll see how everybody's doing, and we'll plan to, you know, get started and do some stuff. The other thing I should say is, you know, if you enjoy these streams, please do share them with your friends. Share them on your social media, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, all of those places. Anything, anywhere that you think that people might get something out of these streams, you know, share that stuff. So, did I ask Rick Beato about his new studio? No, I've not spoken to Rick in a while. You finally did it. You finally did it. You achieved the importance. You got a girlfriend. The impossible. I don't believe you. No, I actually do believe you. With your poetry skills, nothing would surprise me. Marty, yes, moving absolutely sucks. Smoothie, yeah, in the house. Hear me fine. Daniele. We'll just go with Daniel. Yes, mate, I'm tired. I'm not going to lie. I'm exhausted. It's been a long week. I did this before you got on. It's been a long week, long day, long week, long month, long year, long life. But I can't really complain, right? Yeah. So I'll give you an update on the situation that we're in. So I'm currently sat in the dining room of my new house. Living room is there, and then out there is my garden, at the back of which is my new studio. Hello, Samurai Fingers. At the back of which is my new studio. Now, we've had all the building work done on the studio to, you know, sort the exterior. We took out the garage door, we took out the window and all of that stuff. We've had all of the gaps covered. We've had drainage put in and everything. So damp hopefully won't be a problem. But next up is the building a room inside of that room, the soundproofing of that room, and, you know, it's a big process. So obviously I needed somewhere that I could work, so I'm in my dining room. But I hate the way it looks, and you guys will hate the way it looks too. So what we're going to do tomorrow is I've got my mother-in-law is coming over, and we're going to paint that wall. So I'll have a better looking backdrop behind me. I still need to pick up my lights, be able to put my lights here, so we'll have better lighting in here. And the good thing is I've got a couch behind me, right? So for the Guitar Souls podcast, I'm going to actually be able to sit on a couch. That'll be fun. Anyway, yeah, so this is dining room. We're still not really properly moved in. There's still boxes absolutely everywhere. You see that guitar behind me? Where is it? There? That's the only electric guitar I have in this house right now. All the others are at my in-laws' house. So, yeah, that's cool. What else have we got going on? Thought you'd pop in and say hello. Yeah, So this is not as you will have just heard, Samurai Fingers. Not a new studio. This is a temporary space before I move into my new studio. Still got to have all the soundproofing done, all of the acoustic treatment done. It's just proven to be so expensive. So expensive. So as a warning for anyone that wants to build a proper studio, I've had to spend over £4,000 on builders doing work to the... This is work I didn't know needed doing. This is work to the actual structure. That will finish today. I'm spending over £4,000 on soundproofing materials. I am cutting some corners and I'm trying to build the stud walls and everything myself. I've got some help from friends of the family. That's going to be... I'm actually really looking forward to that, to be honest. But, you get the idea. That'll be cool. So £4,000 on soundproofing materials. Hopefully, we're definitely going to have to pay someone to help do the installation at some point. I'm sure of that. So that's more money, and then I'm going to need someone to come and do the floors, and more work needs to be done on the roof. Oh, it's just so much money. Money that we hadn't... Well, it's not that we hadn't planned. We knew we were going to have to spend it, but that doesn't make it any nicer, does it? No one wants to have to buy a new house, move into it, and then spend £20,000 doing things to the house, So I did make a budget, Embry Smith. I did make a budget, and I'll tell you what, I'll be completely honest, right? Before we moved into the house, we knew that we were going to have X amount of money left over from the sale of our last house in moving into this house, and that was for things to be done around the house. But I had told my wife, obviously, the main priority is getting my studio done because I need it for work, which she's totally understanding of. She's very supportive of that, so awesome. And I said to her, we're going to need to budget £10,000 for my studio. Now, when I said that, I wanted her what I was really trying to get in her mind is she can't just take all of the money that we have put aside and I want a new bathroom. No, we just moved into a new house. You can't just go, we're moving into a house, I want a new bathroom. I want an extension on the house, because that's the sort of thing she would do. So I said to her, £10,000 on the studio, and she was like, cool, not a problem. And really in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to say 10,000, but it's not going to be nearly as much as that. But that'll, she won't go and spend that money now. Easily 10,000. Easily. Tailed Feature is online. I really want to say your real name, but I can't. But good to see. I didn't really get the chance to speak to you the other day when you were over at the place that we both were. But that was a funny night. And honestly, the Steve McLean part of that night, I'm devastated that I wasn't there to witness the entire conversation, mate, because just the bits I saw, absolutely glorious. Rid the local area of Scots. That'd be difficult, mate, because my wife is Scottish. So, Everchanger, looking at buying a Mayonnaise Regis 6 Custom in the next few weeks, thinking of going baritone. What do you think? Not loving the standard 25.4. It's a great option. It would depend on what your goal is with things. I absolutely love baritone scale length instruments. When I ordered my 7-string Mayonnaise, I bought this from a shop. And it was a good price. It was second hand, and it was sold as a baritone, and that was the thing I really wanted. I want a 7-string baritone scale length because I don't want a solo. I want a riff machine, So I bought this guitar and it showed up, and I'm like, this doesn't look like a baritone, and I measured it and it wasn't. And I got back in touch with them, and they were like, oh, really, really sorry, we're happy to come and collect it. And I was like, maybe we can work something out. And they gave me a chunk, like a big discount off it. And that was actually a bad decision on my part. I should have sent it back because it's not what I wanted. I wanted a baritone instrument. So I'm a big fan of baritone scale length. But like I say, it all really depends on what you're going to be doing with it. I was thinking of baritone scale length just for a riff machine. Obviously, Ormsby are sending me a guitar at the moment, and that's actually going to be really cool. They're sending me a one-of-a-kind, which is like such an honour. That's fanned or multi-scale, which again gives me what I want for a certain thing. I want the extra tension on the low strings for riffing, but I want some looser tension on the high strings for soloing. So honestly though, you're not going to go wrong with the Mayonnaise stuff. Absolutely love their stuff, obviously. Oh, okay. Thank you, Squid. I can keep the wife. To be fair, man, I've not seen you on Facebook in a while. It's the funny thing, right? Like, we are the stars of our own stories. I see myself all the time, usually staring into a bloody camera like this. So it's the Truman Show to me. Everybody's watching. But of course, not everybody is watching. In fact, in the grand scheme of things, nobody's watching. Right now, we have like 25 people watching. That's an incredible honour. So thank you for those that are watching. Tailed feature, did I ever tell you that you trained as a painter and decorator? You did not tell me that. But to be fair, you live quite far away. I'm not going to want to drag you all the way down here to paint and decorate. Though, there would be guitar lessons in it for you. So I hate that more than anything in the world. Like, how arrogant to offer somebody, like, I'll teach you. I don't do that. John, who's the electrician that's coming over, he's a subscriber, and he's come over and he's offered to work for free in exchange for lessons. But I would never, ever say that to him. Like, just the fact that I could give work to somebody that is a subscriber is awesome. So he comes over and he's like, oh, no, there's no need to pay, like, just cover materials and I'll do the work, that's fine. And I'm like, but come on, man, like, your time is worth something, and if you're just doing the studio, then fair enough, all right, I can be all right with that. But you're talking about doing electrical work in my house as well, and you're a tradesman, you got to be paid. So yeah, but he insisted. But there you go, Tailed, I just did it with you. Lessons in it for you. Yeah, moving house, very, very stressful, very stressful. A Georgian immigrant. So you're not a racist. I know you're not a racist, Kirk. Studio update. Pain in the ass. Yeah, family budgeting. Cold shoulder. Well, I've not given you the cold shoulder, have I? Ever changer? No, I spoke about your good. I hope you don't mean that I'm ignoring you. Janice Ristomex. Love the channel, big fan. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. That was probably Yanis. We'll go with Yanis. Richard. Oh, one of the old guard. Good to see you on, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you sorted things out with your problems. Seb7N8. Seb7N8, yeah. Now a month later. In for new walls, yeah. I'm doing good, mate. Doing good. Yeah. Honestly, to be completely honest with you, it feels good to be back. And part of me, I'm really enjoying like the moving around, the shaking my arms around, the looking at the camera, the getting to engage with people. I love the fact I've got a microphone on me again, because I'm at that stage now where this feels like home. This feels normal. Like, on the other hand, I'm a little bit embarrassed about the fucking state behind me. I just obviously got to the stage with my studio in my last place where things were starting to look really good. Let's not say really good, but they were consistent. It looked professional. This is not professional. This embarrasses me, so that stresses me a little bit. Yeah. So, tailed feature. Yep, he is one of the edgy boys. Edgy boys. Okay, Embry Smith. I see what you're saying. Well, look, I didn't pick a figure out of the air. I didn't pick a figure out of the air at all. It was a case of assuming that what was going to need to be done was a certain set of things, and then when people came to look at it, suddenly they were finding all these other things that needed doing. Or at least I hope they needed doing. It'd be very awkward if they didn't need doing at all, but people just... Because that's the possibility with builders, right? They're just saying, oh, this needs doing, when maybe it doesn't. But I had a few people say it, so fine, yeah. Yes, Samurai. John is a good guy. I mean, Tailed, dude, I mean, you know the situation. You've got friends down in this area anyway. If you just want to come down, like, just come down, hang out, and have some takeaways and hang. Like, you're always more than welcome. So, yeah, I see what you mean, like tradesman versus craftsman. But I think it's important that here's the key, at least for me. It's that it's offered rather than requested. When someone comes to me and says, well, you need this thing, why don't I provide the thing you need, and in return, I'll get a thing I want? It's slightly different with offering someone guitar lessons, because nobody needs guitar lessons. Some people might want guitar lessons, but no one really needs them. So offering something that somebody maybe wants in return for something that I need feels a little bit unbalanced. There is a little bit of a delay in the chat, Everchanger, yeah. P, stuff will get back in order. And construction is, just ridiculously complicated. And as I sort of alluded to it, like the problem with something like that is me not being an expert. So you're hoping that the people that you're dealing with are experts. And we've had people come around to take a look at a fair few things that we need doing in the house. And the most stressful part about it has been when different contractors have different opinions on what needs done. Because you're like, well, I don't know who to listen to. We had one guy come over and said, we've got there's a window in our living room that I don't like. I don't want it there. There's no reason for it to be there. We've got these huge, sun-facing windows that let in all the light. Awesome. But then just on the side, on one side wall, there's a little window there that looks at the side of a garage. Like, it doesn't really do anything, and it makes the room unsymmetrical. So I've had some guys have come in and they're like, yeah, we take the window out, we brick it up. And there's other people that are like, well, what I'd probably come in and do is we could come in, I could board that window up and we could make the wood flush with the wall, and we could take out the ledge, and that'll do the job, and it'll be a lot much cheaper. But then other people are like, oh, I mean, you could do that, but you're probably going to have damp problems. And it's like, I'm not a fucking expert. I don't know. I have to trust you guys to know what you're talking about. So, yeah. I know what you mean when you say that how it is to change house, and that I'm still me. Of course, I am still me, but a huge part of what I do is quality and consistency. I'm always aiming for quality. I'm always aiming for consistency. So to have such a dramatic drop is scary. Oh, Tailed, I mean, you say that, right? But what is our goal as musicians? Our goal as musicians should hopefully be to entertain people, more so than anything else in the world. To touch people's lives in some way, shape or form. And the last time I checked, you composed a piece of music that even on your channel has 100,000 views, right? That's what you need to follow, man. You need to follow that. Like, the music that you've written is a soundtrack to an entire subculture of people. People hear that piece of music that you wrote and they instantly just know exactly what that means, and it conjures up images in their mind. Like, it's the same as like the music to Countdown or whatever. Like, someone wrote that and it impacted people. So in the grand scheme of things, sure, maybe you could be a better guitar player, but could you be more fulfilled with music? Probably yes, but the better guitar playing isn't going to be the thing that will fulfill your musical needs, right? Richard, you know what? I still haven't got in touch with Carl. I still haven't. I've not got in touch with anyone. It's a bit embarrassing. No one needs guitar lessons. Yep, that is probably where it came from. Glorious. Okay, so why don't we start taking a look at some stuff, do a little bit of transcribing. I mean, how long have we been going for? Let's see. Is there a way that I can see that? You'd think there'd be a thing that would tell me exactly how long I've streamed for. There must be. Somewhere there must be. I don't think there is. Awesome. Cool. Oh, here's a great question. I have to answer this. Levi, is a music degree a waste of time? Because I'm seriously considering it. Is a music degree a waste of time? I have a music degree. It was a waste of money. It has never been a part of what's enabled me to do what I do professionally. You know? And so much so that when I was at university doing my thing, and they would say to us, they wouldn't hide this, they would say, look, when you go for auditions for things, if they ask if you've been to music school, always lie. Because nobody wants to work with the guys that have been to music school. Because there's this perceived idea that it sucks all of the originality, the personality, and the individuality out of a person. Of course, I can see that argument. So, it was a waste of money. And it hasn't helped me get any work. Did the stuff that I learnt at university potentially help me in work? I don't want to be massively arrogant. I've done as well as I've done in my career because I'm business minded, and I take the business side of things very seriously. That certainly wasn't drilled into me at university. There certainly were aspects of being at a music school that were helpful to my perception of how the music business works. So I can't really discount that. But, and here's the interesting part, right? So I've said that it was a waste of money and that it hasn't helped my career. So let's say I get that time machine and I can go back in time and do it all again. What would I do? I'd go to music school. I would go to music school again. I would do it. I would make that mistake all over again, because although all of the time I spent at music school was immensely frustrating, because of how poorly run it was and because how little we mattered to the school. Now, not to the teachers. There were some great teachers. I met some of the best teachers in the world. And that was awesome. Getting to meet those guys and become friends with those guys. Awesome. That was great. But the institution itself, they didn't care about us. We were just numbers that came in. And as soon as we were in, we didn't matter anymore. It was just about getting new guys in next year, right? So it was so badly run. So badly run. And music school is the other thing to consider. Is music school, you don't need to be gifted to go to music school. You need to have money, right? So what you tend to find is a lot of people that you'll find in music school are there because they don't really have anything else to go and do, and daddy paid for it for them. So I assumed I was going to go to music school and I was going to meet the cream of the crop musicians all over the country with a passion, a burning passion to go out and make music and to achieve things. And I think, like, of my year that was at university, probably only 5% of them now are working in the music industry. And it's because no one cared. Like, they were just burning time. They figured they'd do their 3 years at school, then they'd come out and walk into work. And of course, it doesn't work like that. I spent 3 years preparing myself for work, making business contacts, building my own business, networking. Like, I was at music school, but I was also going out to trade shows, handing out business cards, talking to people, shaking hands, and, you know, getting to meet people. It was while I was at music school that I started to make connections with guys like Tom Quayle and Andy James. Not that they were at music school, but because I was being very business savvy about things, I got hooked up with Guitar International magazine via Matt Warnock, who, you know, for those of you on the jazz scene, you probably know Matt Warnock's educational stuff. Matt was, you know, gave me a lot of opportunities, and then, you know, I was studying, I was having private lessons outside of music school with Martin Goulding, and we get on like a house on fire. You know, he's a very good close friend of mine, and he gave me a lot of work opportunities. I was contacting guys like Tom Quayle for transcription stuff, not asking for work, but saying, look, I've done these might make your products better for people, have them. And then he would send a lot of people my way. Martin introduced me to like Andy James, and I did some stuff for Andy, and, you know, things just kept ballooning from there. So none of those things would have happened unless I went to university. And the other thing to take into consideration is when you go to music school, you don't have to worry about work for 3 years, right? So that's time that you can use to discover who you are as a person. So music school was a terrible waste of money, but I'm glad I went. I feel like I should do a YouTube video on that as a subject, because I think I could have a lot of fun with that. There you go, Kirk. When you put it like that, but I'd like to make an album, put some solos on it that aren't major/minor pentatonics. I mean, major, minor pentatonic. Add one note. You got 6 notes. Pretty much all of the Hellcat Molly solos are just 6 notes. 23 minutes, yeah, cool. Only thing that a music degree could possibly be useful for is networking. So, Tailed, I half agree with you. Like, of course, in a perfect world, that's what you'd want. Like, you'd go there and you'd network. And I did meet, like, Doug Cartwright, one of my closest friends, love the guy to bits. I met him at music school. Not because we were in the same things for anything, but because we had a mutual passion for metal, and he knew some of the people that were in my class. David DeAndrade, the singer on the Hellcat Molly album, I met him at university. I met a few other guys that I still have a lot of love and respect for to this day. Guys like Dominic Grisbin or Marlon Tarditi, Mike Tillotson, Charles Coetzee. Who else did I spend a lot of time around? Guys like Jay Calpin, there were guys, I got to meet guys, but our network hasn't remained that strong. I think the biggest contacts came from having private lessons with Martin Goulding. That was the big changer. And building a rapport with a person like that, so much so that they trust you for not just as a student or a client that's going to show up and pay them money, but when they need someone, your name comes to mind type thing. So, that was probably more useful than anyone else I met. I'm just trying to think. Unless your goal is to go to music school and then teach at music school. Of course, you guys all know me as a teacher, right? That's what I do. I'm passionate about education. All I want to do is help people become better and get to where they want to be. I want to pass on the experience I've had in the same way that a lot of people have passed on the experience they had to me. So that was always my goal. And I just made this assumption. I was going to go to music school, everyone would pay attention to me, and then I'd become a staff member at the school, and that would be me set type thing. And after a year, I just realised that was never going to happen. And it was never going to happen for two reasons. One, because the school hated me. And two, because I hated the school. And to be super clear, I hated the school hated me. Not the teachers. I mean, sure, some of the teachers probably disliked me because I had a bit of an attitude problem. Who would have thought? But, I saw what it sucked out of the teachers that were there. And I knew how much a lot of the teachers hated being there, and that they were just there for a paycheck, and they felt the same way that a lot of the students felt. So it just became that I wouldn't want to do that anymore. I see Sue's comment, and I will get to that in a second. Samurai Fingers, masters in music, waste of money, great time. Yeah, exactly. Led to a few professional opportunities. It wouldn't change the trajectory of your life. Huge waste of money. Yeah. Still, I don't have my master's in music. I would absolutely love to get my master's because I've always been about education. I think I'm the first person in my family, maybe ever, to go away to university. Shame it was to do music though, right? Squid, you have a degree. Contacts you made are the only thing that was remotely worth the price. There you go. John, how's it going, dude? I've been on for about 20 minutes. Well, probably 30 minutes at this point. You've not missed that much. Although we were talking about you a second ago. I don't know if I made this clear when you were in the house the other day, but you're going to be on the channel soon, buddy. We're going to get to know you a bit and your awesome help that you're bringing to things. So there you go. Squid, if you had the time over, you'd use the money to go decent muso town, have private lessons with players that dropped my jaw, network like mad in between. Honestly, that is the best thing that I could really say. The thing that I got from music school was the benefit was not having to worry about a job, right? Because I had a student loan, I didn't need to worry about where my rent money was going to come from, etc. And there was actually a point I was working. I did have a job while I was at university for quite a while, and then one day I woke up and was like, this is just getting in the way of everything that I want to do, and I hate it. So I just didn't turn up for work that day, and I never went back. And that was when I vowed to never have a real job again, because it got in the way of what I wanted to do with my life. But yeah, the idea of being able to, like, just moving to somewhere like Nashville and hitting up all of the local hot guys to study with them, just spending time with them and playing with people like this, that you learn so much from that. It's the same here. Like, I've never had a guitar lesson from Mike of the Guitar Souls Party Cannon, but I've learned so much from playing with him, talking music. There's a bunch of great guitar players up here. There's a gentleman by the name of Barry McAleenan up here. He lives just up the road. He is a phenomenal guitar player, absolutely fucking phenomenal. And you just learn by osmosis when you spend time around people like that. So yeah, that's great advice. But you don't get the piece of paper at the end of it. Probably going to have a lower amount of debt as well, though. Yeah, you didn't confirm whether it was Yanis or Janice. I'm going to stick with Yanis. Yeah, of course you get a response. If you comment on my videos, you're going to get a response. I'm here for you guys. I also appreciate that when I do this, the table wobbles, so I should probably not touch the table. Tons of past years regretting not going to music school. That's a point of view that I didn't consider. Yeah. Italian. It's a different style of education in Italy, right? But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Oh, Sue, I see what you've just done here. Sue. Hi, Sue. My fave. Yeah, and fancy seeing tailed feature here. I've tried teaching my wife guitar before, but and now I'm going to verge on being sexist, right? But as I've experienced with any woman that I've ever had in my life, they kind of want to play a bit of guitar, but they also don't want to cut their fingernails. So that kind of gets in the way of it a little bit. I tried to teach her ukulele. Again, nails just ruined it. Eventually, they just all want to have nails, right? I don't teach beginners, though, so I can't teach my wife or those people. Same kind of insight after 6 months with music college, seeing how some of the teachers were bored shitless from teaching basics day in, day out. Yeah. Cool. So I think I've caught up on comments. I think now would be a good time for me to jump on to doing some actual transcribing. Before I do that, though, I just want to, again, say a huge thank you to my supporters over on patreon.com. You guys make such a fucking difference. Such a difference. Work's been hard the last few months because, I'm an asshole. No one wants to work with me. No, I kid. It's just the added pressure of this studio and shit. Patreon has meant that I can devote more time to making content. So thank you so much for all your support. There's a link in the description if you want to check me out on Patreon. You can support me for as little as $1, and it honestly all is a big help. Alternatively, you can head on over to Amazon and you can check out one of my books. These are my bread and butter. This writing books was a life changer for me. It's been a huge plus for my monthly income. Let me be clear. I'm not saying books made me rich, but it's that same idea of it being, it's like Patreon, it's passive income. I can make a bit of money every month on books, which means I don't have to go and work hours and hours and hours teaching in the school, which I've had to do in the past in order to make ends meet. Now I can devote more time to making good content and writing new books and building studios and shit. And who knows where the future's going to lead us, guys. I like the idea of going out on the road, and with the Guitar Souls I'd love to go out with Mike and go out and meet people and record in different settings and just meet all of you awesome people that allow me to do the things that I do. So there's that. And lastly, you can also super chat here on YouTube. You can super chat, and the thing is, if you super chat, normally people are like, well, if you send me a super chat, I'll read out your comment. I'm reading out all your comments anyway. But if you super chat me, I will make you an admin on my chat so people can see how important you are. I'm going to grab my ukulele now because I just saw. But look at this one, Sue. Look at this wee chord ukulele. Feels like it's got crack in it. It doesn't, it's just a... There you go. Look at this. Sue Hulk online. A big YouTube star. I'll read these last few comments. True, Carl. Yeah. Can't get blood out of a stone. Feeling inspired. Need to start up lessons again. Yeah. Anytime. Always here. Absolutely always here. Long nails could work for fingerstyle. Yeah, on your picking hand, not on your fretting hand. I'm a huge Opeth fan. Oh, hang on. Who's this aesthetic edgy boy? Kirk Whammett, you've caught yourself out. People now know. Okay, John, cool. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I know his availability is poor, and I need to get started soon. So I think I'm probably going to end up building those stud walls with a friend of mine. But I need help with other stuff. So yeah, school ukulele students. That's exactly what that is. I just bought the cheapest ukulele I could for her, so she'd have something to play. Right, so let's do this. So we've got a few videos to look at. Let's start with this one. I will just download it because I'm not even that prepared. I didn't even download the videos that I'm going to need. I'm a professional asshole. Yes, I am. Oh, I just got demonetized. Great. Professional asshole. Right. That's the video. Let's open it with transcribe. Transcribe. Oh. Chaos. John, he's certainly not going to start right away. He's away tomorrow. He's not back. He's not even back until Wednesday night. Thank you, Sue. I'll see you on Sunday. Thank you for the truffles. They were delicious. Right. So let's do this. This is an example from my new book. So probably recognise it. It's Billy Gibbons style. Anyway, let's deal with this Verheyen video. So I'm going to show, where is the video? Oh, it's only wee. I have to make it big. So let's take a listen. So, for those unfamiliar with Carl's playing, just absolutely outrageously talented guitar player, a very unique voice on the instrument, and a big influence on my early playing. So, yeah, love his playing. So I'm just going to mark the file out. 1, 2, 3, 4. John, I have to talk to him about that, because he was very much wanting to go an alternate route, but I have a deal in place with the soundproofing store. They've given me a discount, and depending on how cheap he can do things, like yeah. So we've lost a beat here. I need to pick this up. I mean, it's not actually a huge issue, John, because ultimately, as he saw from my wife, there's lots of other things we need doing. So we've shifted where our perception of beat 1 is, which is fine. I'll sort this all out in the track sheet. Okay, certainly enough that we can deal with in that. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal player. Absolutely outrageous player. So let's deal with what we're doing. Now, just from looking at it while he's playing, I can tell it's a blues in F, right? Some chordal tricks that are going on that we can, of course, steal, but ultimately blues in F. And I don't need my guitar for this. I can rely on the transcription. I can rely on the video. Yeah, Carl's blues playing is just absolutely outrageous. Let me I'll put another little Verheyen clip on, just to give you an idea. No one sounds like Carl. Just no one sounds like Carl. One last video. This hopefully we're going to get to transcribing these. Doing some Beatles. Beach Boys.
You had that harmonic. Try again. Like that.
It's just a outrageous player. Anyway, on with the transcribing. What have I missed here? Kinks. There we go. I'm just like hearing 60s melodies. Anyway. Sorry. Yeah, I get it. You can all correct me. I made a boo-boo. What am I... Ah, sorry. You know what I'm thinking of? You know, I'm thinking of the video that we're doing on doing next month. We're doing... there's a wonderful acoustic rendition of Eleanor Rigby. I'm just going to play that just so you can hear what I'm talking about. This is... This is outrageously good.
I look at all the lonely people. I look at all the lonely people. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All the lonely people. Where do they all come from? All the lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie.
Outrageously good. Cannot wait to transcribe that next month. Anyway, on to what we're doing this month. Verheyen. So it sounds like... let me change the tone so we've got a... I'm going to talk you through my thought process while I'm doing this as well. Clean guitar. Oh, where is it? Electric guitar, clean guitar, and then clean strat. Is that how you do that? Yes, got that. Yeah. Who are we talking about? The same guy? I'm not sure. Carl or the young guy. Now, what I'm listening for is you've got two things. You've got a melody, ba 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 ba, and underneath the chordal part. So I'm actually going to choose to notate those in separate voices. I'm going to have the melody on top, and I'm going to have the chordal part in voice 2. So ba ba ba. How do I want to do this? Should I put it in the key of B flat? Should I put it in the key of F? Put it in the key of F because it's really in the key of F, even though it's a secondary dominant 1 chord. Ba 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 ba. Now, to me, this is a melody. What's he playing there? It's a... Now I know he'll be thinking that. So here's your melody. Ba 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 bum, ba da dum. There's your melody. Now if I put the chords on underneath, voice 2. So you picking. Now annoying. There. Now he's oh, we need the swing marking in there. Now I'm cheating a little bit, right? Because he's not really hitting this dominant part all the time. But just from a learning perspective, just from a study perspective, this makes sense. Slow it right down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Squid, great question. Didn't even think about it. Let me have a listen. Let's see how I feel it. Yep, 12/8. I mean, both are going to work, but 12/8. Like the difference is how you choose to write things, right? If we put it in, this is really actually a fun question because we can do both, right? If I put this in 12/8 here, I'm just going to have to correct a few things in it. That'd be bottom part, and then this would be There's obviously not a triplet anymore. So yeah, two ways of writing out the same thing. Definitely not. Or what went wrong there? It's because the triplet feel is still on there. If I took that triplet feel away, okay. I can accept that. I prefer the 12/8. It's because I hadn't really listened to enough. Good point though. And this should be dotted quarters A. So have a listen to that. See how I feel about it. Now I kind of want to be particular. It's not in that voice, it's in the top voice. Sorry. So now it's just a slightly different way of thinking of it, right? Now the way I'm thinking of it is the second voice, this voice down here, is what the pick is doing, and the top voice is what the fingers are doing. But then that falls apart when this is obviously pick. So there is no... Enjoy Opeth, man. Now you want to be pedantic, you know, put an accent on this, staccato. Now just the pick, bum 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 bum. So bum bum bum. Melody on top. We keep reading. Personally, a little section later on, he does a Hemiola, typical blues turnaround, clearer, forcing the two field. Yeah, no, I do agree with you. I wasn't looking at the bigger picture. And we could put chords in. So F7 and B flat 7. One 6 2 5. It's a D, so that should be an F sharp. No ulterior motives, no. Just me being tired. It's honestly, it's the kind of thing where for things like that, I'm thinking context, and because I'm just listening to this one bar and not really putting any thought into it, I make a schoolboy error like that. Whereas if it was a larger context, i.e., that bar had drums in it, the drums would instantly tell me 12/8 rather than 6, rather than 4/4. Some things never change. Daddy, where's Mummy? Go see Mummy. Go see Mummy. Teddy, go on. Go see Mummy. Over. Dog murder. Please. Get down. What are you really achieving by that? Stop it. It's not going to make her come in faster. What was that? Yeah. I'm a professional. What am I missing? John, you say, can you superimpose both voicing? I don't. Are you talking about being able to see both like this? Yeah. No. Now again, could put chords in, right? Put a lettering in there if we like. So we've got an F, B flat, and then here we're back to our F to D7 to G. Does he really he doesn't really give us whether it's dominant or minor. Let me see. Just the way he fingers it, let's call it a G minor. To C7. Awesome. Let's keep going. We're looking at tab, are we not, John? Tab at the bottom. need to be in voice 1 to do this. Flip that, yeah. With B flat chord. Where is he playing? Is he playing that? Yeah, he's playing that. Ba. Just bending this note up, semitone and down. Playing the 5th? Nope. You'll soldier on through, man. That's cool. It's definitely 1, 2. So we lose a beat in here. There's definitely something we need to square this bar away and make it work. Oh no, it fits. That note's just rust a little bit. Cool, there we go. So this is our B flat. B flat? No, sorry, F. This is our B flat. Cool. Copy. Where is it? here. Copy. He jumps down. You can see him pick it. That's so cool. Bah. Be diminished. So let ring. This is B flat. And then here we're putting in a cheeky little B diminished, which will lead us to a C, I would imagine. Oh, F with a C in the bass. Listen to what we got. Now these lines are really what I love Verheyen's playing for, and it there's another player that I don't actually know if he's overly influenced by Carl's playing in particular, but there's certainly similarities in the playing, and he's been an influence on my playing. A friend of mine, George Marius. George Marius has these really cool intervallic lines where you have these jumps down. He's probably the only guy I can think of that has like a Verheyen sound or influence in his playing without it sounding forced. Like George has really made a sound out of it. So yeah, big fan of George's playing. Transcribed all of your musical life. Always impressed by Levi's solid timing and lack of second guessing. I'm just looking at the how many people have been watching the stream. And what I can see is a dramatic switch off when I start doing the actual transcribing. Apparently no one wants to see that. They just want to see me talk bollocks. I'm fine with that, to be honest. This is the cool educational stuff. This is the stuff, of course, that I'm doing for Patreon. So this is not study club. This is transcription challenge stuff. So the goal here is, guys will be able to download these transcriptions. And that's the point, right? I don't know why I'm getting a notification for that. Oh, well, we've got a new ad from VPix. Let's check it out. Vinny's just asked me what they need to be doing with this. So I am going to watch it. Make sure you guys can see it. Yeah, we can. See what happens.
Vinny Smith here from VPix Guitar Picks. If you're new to VPix and you haven't heard of us before, please let me explain the benefits and what makes us stand out from all the rest. If you've been playing VPix for a while, then you already know these things. Thanks for watching anyway. VPix are all about tone, grippage, and longevity. Let me explain. Let's start off with the grippage part. As you hold a V-pick, it'll warm up to your touch and it'll start clinging to your finger. Check this out.
I like
You
that.
won't have any problem dropping the pick or the pick spinning in your fingers when you're trying to play. What this will do is it'll allow you to relax your hand, play more freely, more fluid, and sometimes even faster. Now let's talk about tone. Fat mids, creamy highs, a nice tight fat bottom. V-picks are handmade here in Nashville, Tennessee, and they're the only acrylic pick that is heat tempered, much like glass or steel. What this gives you is much, much longer longevity. VPix has over 100 models now. We have clear picks and colored picks, thick picks, thin picks, from 0.8 millimeter all the way up to 11.85. We have just about every shape that you can imagine, and I think that if you look through our website, you're going to find exactly what you want. So come and see us online, www.v-pix.com. We just may change your musical life forever.
Oh, there we go. This video is brought to you by VPix. You know what? I'm going to do a little speech on that myself, because it's the same thing that I'm always going to need to say to someone like Vinny. Like, he makes an amazing product, but his promo videos like that, just it's not flashy enough, you know. I've used VPix exclusively for almost 10 years now. Like, I fucking love the product. It's as simple as that. I don't promote this stuff for any reason other than I love the product. I can't imagine playing other picks. This pick feels like home to me. And people that go and play them, they like them. They love these picks. They're great picks. And that video gives you all of that info and passion, but you know, as we all know, it's 2019. It needs to be flashier, it needs to be more fancy. So but I'm not in a position right now where I can film something and have it as flashy as that, which is annoying. But yeah, I'll work with him on getting a flashier video together. But if you've not checked VPix out, I would recommend you go and check them out, because they're great. And if you use the code FRIENDOFLEVI, you'll get a deal on them. I want to say it's 20% off. Friend of Levi, 20% off on VPix website. Yeah. So anyway, back to Carl Verheyen. I'll be an F with a C in the bass. It's like a C7 sus. I'm just gonna cheat. Just bring the comments back, shouldn't I? What have I missed? Life. I'm impressed I leave was girthy cock. Me too. I wish. Here's stuff that just isn't there. Talking about artifacting, slowing down too much. Yes, yeah, you do. Which is why you should always be doing things as close to full speed as possible, right? George is a beast. Yeah, nice guy. One of the best. Cool stuff. Bollocks is a universal language. Yeah. VPix, all about being able to duplicate a chicken at 20 yards. Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, that's, you know what, Squid, that's the best way to put it. VPix is the mum and pop shop of the pick world. There could be something in that. There actually could be something in that as a marketing tool for Vinny. Mum and pop picks. I'm going to pitch that to Vinny right now. It's hard to word something like this. And I appreciate that what you're seeing here is me stealing. It's not stealing an idea. I'm not being paid for it. But I think it's a good idea. And I love Vinny. I love Vinny like a brother, like a dad. And if I can help him, and any of this would help him, then that's all good for me. Like bouncing ideas around, like describing it to him as like home cooking, you know, VPix, the way Mama used to make them. Yeah, John, we'll talk soon. I'll sort you out with a free pick, man. No problem. James, thank you for tuning in from Somerset of all places. How's it going? I'm here. If you have any questions, I'm here to answer them live. What was I saying? VPix. The thing that really breaks my heart with VPix is like, from what I was told, the guy that runs Gravity Pix used to work for Vinny, and he essentially took what Vinny was doing and just went and did it and called it Gravity. And Gravity make great picks, of course they do. Like, I'm not going to shit on Gravity's product, but I think when you've described it there and you've said like mom and pop, I can't say that, I'm English, picks, that's VPix. You know, it's a smallish family-run company. Simple as that. Like, passion, small team. They're super passionate about what they make, and that's fine. Of course, like, compare that to someone like Ernie Ball. I love Ernie Ball stuff too, but it's a different vibe when I order something from Ernie Ball. It's more big company type thing, like, because they're a big company. There's less personal touch and there's more of that feel of precision, if you like. And that, I don't want to say that like VPix aren't precise, because they are, but it's just a totally different idea behind it. It's very much the same as you see that meme where you say, you know, when you buy local, you're not paying for a CEO to buy his third summer home. You're paying for a little girl's dance lessons, or you're paying for horse riding lessons, you're paying for guitar lessons, whatever it happens to be. And there's so much truth to that, like putting money into smaller businesses. I've always been a fan of that. Supporting smaller businesses where possible. So yeah, interesting. I like that, Squid. Yeah. We're not going to that. Boom. It's done that thing. I hate it. Save it. Let's put it in Dropbox, Patreon. What is this called? Carl Play Some Blues. So that's saved. We now close. We then reopen. Shouldn't be this difficult, but unfortunately it is. Shit, where have you gone? I lost you guys. Where are you? Up here? There you are. Got you back. You're back. Where are we going? It's not... Of course it is. Why am I so stupid? There's a slide in between those. That's interesting. I like that. Bada, bo. Cool. So that's the first chorus. Let's just put the chords in. So this was going to F over C. I really want to put like lettering in on this, don't I? This is like a C7 sus. This is like a C. A minor 7, A flat minor 7, G minor 7. Now, I do want to study this. I want to understand this. I want to get my head around it. C7, B flat 7. You don't see a blues played like this very often, so it's nice to, you know, get inside the head of someone. So what have we got here? So 12 bar blues, 16 bar blues, interesting. F7, B flat 7, 1625. Let me. 1625. This is F. This is B flat 7. There we go. So you got this is getting us into the vibe. So I assume from here, yeah, 12 bar blues starting here. F, 4, as you'd expect. 1, so it's quick change blues. 4 chord. Now you'd expect that diminished chord in there, fine. Back to your 1 chord. You'd sometimes hear it as a 1625. So if this was 1, 6, yeah, 2, 5. So yeah, this C to B flat 7, it's like that doesn't really. It's really expect this to be F. 1625, so F, D. He's done something a little bit more interesting there. He's sort of pedaling on the 1 and the 5, which is fine. Then walking down chromatically to the 2, and you've got 2, 5 ending on the 1, and the 1 plays with a 5 turnaround at the end. So interesting, definitely interesting. Let's listen to it from the start. Cool. Now I want to listen to the rest, see if I can be bothered to do more of this one. We should also check the comments and see if anyone even wants me to do more of this one. Absolute class, John. This is what you want to learn, man. You want to learn stuff like this. I mean, I shouldn't speak for you, but yeah, totally right. It's that gospel thing that I really dig. Now we should be able to anticipate the chord changes, right? It should be F, B flat. Let's call numbers 4. I don't want to transcribe the rest of this because I know that there's that fuck up in the timing in there, and honestly, guys, I don't want to have to deal with it. So let's move on. So what other one did we have? We had Play Some Blues. I've done that one. Yeah, I have to do this, even though it's like similar in the sense that it's a blues in F. Carl likes playing a blues in F. evidently. Let's do this one. So Y2 Mate to download the video, put it in Transcribe. Great piece of software. I'm not really plugging it today. I don't know why. Because I'm a professional. I should also appreciate that I've just had my a bunch of my files up on screen there, including no porn. Yay! What is this? Oh. Hello, Ray the guitar. Let's have a chat. Let's talk funny stuff, right? I can't believe I didn't mention this. I meant to make a YouTube video on this, but honestly I don't know how I'm comfortable I'm going to be doing YouTube videos until I've sorted out some sort of backdrop, made these videos, made this made this space look good. But yeah, Lance Benedict of TTM Guitars calling me an extortionist. An extortionist. Those are fucking bold claims. What I want to say is, buddy, you better have some serious shit to back that up. Some serious fucking shit to back that up. But when you say something like that, what that really means is you better have some shit to back that up, because if you don't, I'm fucking ending you. But why is one guy in Scotland gonna sue one guy in California that doesn't have two pennies to rub together? Because let's be clear, that's defamation per se. Not defamation. It's not a claim of defamation. Of course it is a claim of defamation, but some claims are so defamatory in nature that they are by default defamation per se. And one of those would be insinuating, not even insinuating, directly stating that somebody is a criminal, someone engages in criminal activity. Defamation per se. You've finished, mate. You're absolutely fucking done. You cannot substantiate those claims. Defamation per se. But also he doesn't have two pennies to rub together. You know what I mean? Like, it's a man that set up his business by getting lines of credit from his customers. It's a man that, when he's been sued for similar shady goings on in the past, has just resorted to shutting his company and going bankrupt so he doesn't have to pay people he owes money to. You will never get money out of this man, just like people aren't really going to get the guitars that they paid for out of this man. There's no point going after someone like that. So initially, like, I've had a few people message me. They go, "You're not bothered by this. You're not bothered by the fact that someone's calling you a criminal." And initially, yes, but then I remembered who I am and who he is, and my track record speaks for itself. I'm an open book. Anyone that's watching these videos, anyone that knows me, has seen anything I do, the mere insinuation that I'm an extortionist will be laughable. Absolutely fucking laughable. Because of course that's utter nonsense. Fuck you barking at? Of course that's utter nonsense. I know that. Anyone that knows me knows that. And, don't drop my AirPods. My AirPods that my extortion paid for. Anyone that knows me knows that. And anyone that knows me would stand and fight my corner. So when you make a claim like that, you're doing it for one of two reasons, right? You're either trying to turn people that know me against me. Good luck. Or you are trying to influence an opinion of me from people who do not know me. Now, here's the key thing with Lance. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if the people that he's trying to influence against me, i.e. his customers, so he can keep bleeding them for money, It doesn't matter if they listen to Lance, because they will believe whatever they want to believe, whatever they need to believe. These are the types of idiots that think you choose your beliefs. You don't choose your beliefs. These are the type of people that have no choice in the matter. They cannot not believe him, because if they don't believe him, then it puts them in this position where they start having to question whether or not things that I have pointed out about Lance, not claims that I've made, but things that I've pointed out about Lance, whether there's any credibility to what I say. You know, I'm not a criminal, but you know what? Even if I was a fucking child murderer, right? It doesn't change the fact that when I say true things, they are still true. So I could be the worst human being that has ever existed, right? Literally the worst human being that ever existed. If I point to the second worst human being that's ever existed and say, see him, he's the second worst human being that's ever existed. It doesn't matter that I'm the first worst. That doesn't mean that what I've said is untrue. So therein is exactly the point. Like, he can't attack the things that are being said, so he tries to attack the person that's saying them. And actually, this is the mad thing, right? I'm not even involved. He's got a beef with Andrew. For the record, the things that he's been listing about Andrew, not Andrew. That's not Andrew's record. Right, let me read what we've got here. What is he referring to when he called me an extortionist? What brought this on from him? Yes, what caused him to say that? Don't go with the extortion comes from your books. Comparatively priced transcription services are wonderfully undervalued. I don't have a true fire thingy. Okay, so I'll give you the story. I'll give you the rundown, because we all like a story, right? And more importantly, I've got evidence. Let's do the evidence. Evidence is more fun, right? The thing Lance will never present. Because I keep my ass. I keep all of this stuff. I make sure that I'm safe with stuff like this. Where's that folder? There. Yep. Let me just delete these. I accidentally open shit that isn't relevant. Cool. So, let's annotate. Let's make this bigger. Here. So this is Lance reaching out to me. Hey Levi, I sent you a friend request earlier today. I thought that you might like to do an interview with me about my company. Let me know. Cheers. Hey Lance, that sounds cool. Be really interested to have your take on things. Yeah, sure, when you're available. I could slot something in tomorrow if you're about. Should be about most of the day, so I can be flexible, suit your schedule. Gives me his phone number. Cool. Reaches out to me, asks me to call him. I say, sorry, maybe there's a miscommunication or assumption on my part. I'm a YouTuber, just pointing out that I do interviews with people. I don't do phone calls with people. And here's the key part. This works best for both of us, because then no one can accuse me of taking things said out of context. And it means that you can pick up guitars and show them off. So how's it work? He says he doesn't have Skype. Cool. Facebook, cool. We agree to that. We do that. Had a video chat with Lance. Filmed it. All fine. That went up on my YouTube channel. Had one further question for Lance. Sorry, Lance, forgot to ask. Are there any US guitars out in the wild yet, or are they yet to go out? Said, hey, we have 3 prototypes being played at the factory right now. That turned out to be a lie. We have 20 guitars a day being produced for artists/customers. That was a lie. That would be the Devastator model. We also have the Justifier and the Troubadour bass being completed this month. That was a lie. Let's point out this is July 2018. So this is over a year ago. With other models coming in the coming months. That was a lie. Bottom line is there will be a lot of USA models on the street soon. Thanks again for the opportunity to be on your show. So, just confirming that there are no USA TTMs on the market. Then I was pointing out that I was getting death threats from his endorsees. Well, it's there now, isn't it? Yeah, this is me just talking about the lynch mob. Yeah, this is where Lance... So essentially what happened is Lance started to realise that the video he did with me, where I interviewed him, he looked stupid in it. And he wanted it taken down, and he started, here, a bit perplexed. You understood that you were making your videos very one-sided, completely derogatory and defamatory in nature. Cool. When you're doing these types of videos, you fully understand you're drawing a line in the sand, making a clear and concise opinion about where you stand. I've never been one for any drama or contentious behaviour. Yeah, sure, asshole. Certainly don't condone it, not instructing anyone, blah, blah, blah. I said, okay, no worries. Thought we'd drawn a line in the sand, put the video to bed yesterday. I closed it with honest well wishes, encouraged people to try your guitars out. That's where I wanted it to stay, and I assumed you did. I'm not suggesting that you instruct people, and forget that I mentioned it. Threats, here's the interesting part. If we put it all to bed in our video yesterday, wouldn't you remove the first one? And this is the key thing. He really wanted that video gone because it outed a lot of shady things that he'd done. So, yeah. Then I put things here. What have we got? $500 again. My videos like the one you produce with me. Have fun. Everything will work out for you when the movie is over. Then, full disclosure, our lawyers have requested that YouTube remove the video. And he filed a trademark complaint. So I said, a trademark complaint, how does that work? The problem with filing a trademark claim is that there's clear written evidence from you, both here and on YouTube, that your issue isn't a trademark one. You don't want it down because it has your trademark in it. You want it down because of what's said. What you want to claim is defamation, but you haven't because you know that won't stand either. But good for you, Lance. Make this situation bigger. They call it the Streisand effect. But yeah, I'm cool to do a third video drawing attention to more underhand tactics on your part. What are your lawyers going to say to YouTube? That you didn't want me using your trademarks in my coverage of a news story, and so you came on my channel and used your own trademark for twice as long as the original video? He sent me a courtesy notice pursuant to YouTube's policies, and then I pointed out YouTube's policies, what the legal policies for trademark infringement are, and ultimately the deal with trademark infringement is the fear that somebody is using your brand or your name and trying to pass themselves off as you. So are you worried that views may be confused that I'm endorsed by your brand in some way? That would be ironic. My video about dodgy endorsements. Anyway, we went on. I'm not your enemy. There's some really interesting stuff now somewhere. Calls from legal. There's no legal. Here's the interesting part, right? Again, I want to be fully transparent. Our lawyers have contacted a law firm in Scotland. They are planning legal action against you. A year ago, never happened. I want to give you another opportunity to remove the videos before the lawyers move forward. Threats. This is for obvious reasons, but the most important thing being the costs and fees involved with the filings. Again, trying to imply that it was going to cost me money. They will ask the court that you pay them. Cool. There is no scam. I endorse people just like thousands of other companies, and you have a prior intent on destroying my business and disseminating this harmful and defamatory information. Nope. They'll also seek damages for the emotional distress that this has caused me and everyone here trying to earn an honest living. Now, I have proof that this has directly interfered in my business and has just cost me a contract upwards of $250,000. They instructed me to tell you to remove all videos produced by you that make any mention of me, my artists, my actors, or anyone else at TTM Guitars. You're on notice and have until July 20th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time to comply. I hope that you can put an end to this and perhaps work on more positive things as opposed to being awash in this type of animosity. Ooh, those are big threats. Hey Lance, thanks for the message. Just a couple of questions so we're on the same page if that's okay. So earlier you wanted the first video gone, but now it implies that you want them both down. But I've got confirmation that the second one was okay from you. No court is going to take that seriously, are they? I've got written consent from you to post that, so you can't revoke that and then claim damages. My time went into filming, editing, posting and promoting that video. As it stands, I have provided a platform for you and given you my time, and there's $200 of my time in there. If you want to reimburse me for that, then that can go too, but without that one stays. I'm not having my time wasted. Again, this is someone that approached me and asked me to do a video with them, and then tried to sue me for doing it. Or threatened to sue me for doing it. And don't put me on notice when the notice is hours. Let's be clear about that. It was literally hours. It was, here's your notice, this needs to be done in the next few hours. No court will see this as reasonable. I can't even see my lawyer until tomorrow, let alone have him draft a response and get it to you. This isn't my first rodeo, mate. Courtside with people who are reasonable. This is not. Here's my counter offer. This is extortion, apparently. You compensate me for my time, and as a goodwill gesture, I will take the first video down too. Or we go to lawyers, I make a video documenting that, and it becomes a big saga. You're absolutely right that we should be working towards positive things. I would rather I had TTM in my hands so I could tell people about it than any of this shit. Lance comes back with, how about this? $300 to take both videos down. The second one makes no sense without the first one. Right, cool. Earlier, you wanted the second one up, but the first one gone. Cool. And I will also send you one of our new USA models for demo only when they're completed. Then you can do an honest review of the guitar. Okay, that sounds ideal. I don't want it to sound like I'm just getting a payoff. I put my time into doing the second video, and to remove that means I've wasted my time. So I'm just wanting to cover that loss. For $300, I'll take a USA TTM when they're done and review it. And as part of that relationship, I'll remove the videos. How's that? Okay, please send me your PayPal info. Got paid. Lance wanted clarification. Just to be clear, you will remove both videos after payment is made. Yes. Though with the agreement that if the guitar never materializes, I'll have to talk about it again. Fair? I will send you a guitar that's built in our facility here in Northern California. Please be patient though. As you know, these things take time. It shouldn't be more than 3 months to send you out a very nice USA model for demo purposes and for your review. And then I said, that's absolutely fine. Why don't we say 6 months from now? Because again, the whole point of this is being reasonable, right? I want to give you the time you need to send me a guitar. I will then honestly review that instrument and tell people what I think about it. Thank you, I have money. So I've essentially been paid for a review. It's not like, there's no bullying. Then some people pointed out that the video was gone, and they were trying to accuse me of all manner of shit, and I just explained, look, Lance wanted the video down, so we've come to an agreement. I am going to be doing a review of a guitar, and then we'll see where things stand. 6 months went by, no guitar showed up. Shock fucking horror. 2 weeks before that, I said to him, hey, Lance, I guess that guitar's not coming. He blocked me. So when Andrew started doing things, he reached out to me and said, hey, what happened to your videos? And I said, well, good point. Let me put the interview back up. But if you want to upload the other video, be my guest type thing. Lance got back in touch and was raging about the fact that the video had gone back online. He said, I thought we had an agreement. I thought I paid you $3,000 to keep that video down. And I clarified, where did you get $3,000 from? And sent him our chat logs and explained the situation. We had a deal. We had an arrangement in place. We had a business arrangement in place. You didn't hold up your end of that deal, and therefore the deal was void. Now, honestly, of everything that's happened in the last 5 years of my life, the thing I regret more than anything else in the world is taking those videos down. Not because of the situation that Lance has turned it into, but because the whole point of those videos was to make sure that people were going into deals with TTM with an informed perspective. Going in with the review and thoughts of somebody with industry experience to share the risks that you're taking. Not to say that it would be a bad decision, but just so you know that you're weighing up what makes sense. That was the only point. So by removing those videos, who knows how many people in those 6 months signed up and gave him thousands of dollars. Honestly, I don't mess around with stuff like this. You can see it in my face. I honestly feel deeply responsible for anyone that has done that. I wish I was rich enough to reimburse you if you gave him money and didn't get what you wanted out of it. But yeah, a huge part of me feels extremely guilty for doing that, because I was supposed to be not stopping people from doing it, but again, just making sure people were informed. And I allowed an empty promise to stop that from being the case. So I feel awful for that. That's the only regret with that TTM situation. Simple. That was it. So that's the situation. He ended up emailing me a couple of months ago to say why the video's down. And then he asked to come back on my channel, and I said, no, I'm not interested. He said, please, it'll be good fun. It'll make for good TV. And then I said to him, you know what my time costs, Lance. And then I said to him, actually, ignore that. I'm not interested. I don't want to give you any more platform. I don't want to make a fool out of myself by giving you that opportunity. Again, you had that opportunity before you blew it. And then what happened? So really, the thing that was important to me was the people that Andrew and myself had been actually helping. So there have been a bunch of people that have, for the best part of a year, been trying to get refunds from Lance. And some of them, for some reason, just were not getting their refunds after like a year. They were just getting blown off. Like, oh, well, what you'll find is if you read our terms and conditions, that after an order's placed, if you ask for a refund after 14 days, you can't get that refund, so you're not getting refunded. So people, really unhappy with the situation they're in. And I was just fighting to try and get these people their money back. So I did say, you know what, Lance, I tell you what, if you reach out to person A, person B, person C, and give them their refunds and apologise to them, then cool, we'll do a video. But until you do that, I have nothing more that I want to say to you. And then finally, when he emailed back saying, come on, just ignoring what I said, and it'll be fun, we'll make for good TV. No, not interested. And he's like, I tell you what, I've got a plan, but I need to work out if I can budget it. Where are you living? I want to check the cost of flights. I've got a great idea. I'm not interested in what your flights are. What your plans are. Oh, come on, it'll be great promotion. You'll have so much fun. Not interested, Lance. Please stop emailing me. And it just went back and forward like that. Just honestly, this one night he must have sent me 25 emails, and it was just, please leave me alone. Please go away. I mentioned it like early in the conversation with him, right? This is Streisand effect. This is Streisand effect in full force, right? I don't want to give you a platform. I don't want to talk about you. Simple. Don't want to do it. So stop making me do it, right? If you, like, he's got this, the man's insane. Like, on the one hand, he wants me to leave him alone. Yeah? On the other hand, he's begging to come on my YouTube channel. Like, which is it? You want me to stop talking about you? Stop doing shitty things then. Stop ripping people off. The really mad one is, he's been on Facebook the last couple of days calling us retards and laughing at us for saying, these idiots think that, like, it was so wrong when they said that I was going to close my company. It's like, no, we weren't wrong. And I don't even want to say we. Andrew wasn't wrong. He was 100% right. At no point did he say Lance is closing his company, people are going to get screwed. What he said is, in an investigation from Washington State over the illegal franchises that Lance had been setting up, when dealt with by Washington State, his response to Washington State was to say, I am not selling franchises, I'm no longer selling franchises. In fact, I will be closing the business on the 1st of August, right? So that's not to say that you are doing that, it's to say that that is what you said when you were being dealt with by government officials investigating what you've been doing. Andrew was absolutely right. That is exactly what happened, right? So it's not a win. It's not a win for you to say, my business is still here. It's actually the complete opposite of a win, right? Because now, cool, your business is still here and you're still selling franchises. How do I know you're still selling franchises? Because the people that bought franchises are bragging about the fact that they do have franchises with you, right? And we've got screenshots of all of that. How do you think that Washington State are going to respond when all of that new evidence gets sent to them? You haven't won. You've been stupider than ever. It's not rocket science, right? Cool. Do what you want. Fuck around with me. Fuck around with Andrew. Fuck around with all of these people. Fine. You probably will get away with it. But fuck around with the US government? Are you insane? Like, are you actually nuts? That's not going to end well for you. You've not won. You're a snake. You're a slippery snake. And you might avoid people's grip for a week, maybe a month, maybe a year. But it will catch up with you. Simple. Let's keep reading. It just he's a fucknut. Ryan, let's talk about more positive things. Yes, buddy, I have moved. This is my new house. I'm currently just sat in my dining room. I now have a purpose-built studio outside. We're going through construction work. We're going through soundproofing. Like, it's going to be a while before things are in full swing with that. but it's going to be a beautiful, acoustic treated, soundproofed studio. A proper studio. Thanks to John. Yeah, terrified to work new. What do you mean, John? Yeah. So currently, like I say, just set up in my dining room. I'm gonna do the best I can in here. I'm gonna be changing. I'm gonna paint the wall behind me tomorrow, so the wall is the room is kind of a little bit more suitable for video recording and the like. You get the idea though. It's cool. It does the trick. James, you know what I am? I am very lucky. I am ready for it. I am very lucky that I have so many awesome people that support me over on patreon.com. Not that outright paid for the studio, because the studio is it's going to cost me over £10,000. It's a lot of money, but I've been saving for a very long time. And yeah, we made not a huge amount of money when we sold our house, but it sold for a lot more than we bought it for. So that meant that we had some we had some spare cash, which meant I've been able to upgrade my studio. But these guys, awesome people, and if you want to be like any of them, you can check me out on the link in the description below. You can support me for as little as $1. Don't want to do that? Cool. Go and buy one of my books. Another great way to support me. So yeah. Anyway, should we do a little bit more transcribing? Just a little bit. I'm exhausted. That's what happens when you're constantly being called a fucking extortionist and a criminal. What's going on here? Just going to message the wife. Right. Do I sound all deflated now? I am. It's absolutely exhausting, all of this. Not the transcribing, the just having to deal with all this bullshit. I don't have to deal with this bullshit. All I ever wanted to do was make our community better, you know? What do you think about Count Dankula being fined for making a joke? I mean, how late to the party are you, Russell? Mark Meakin, one of my best friends. I was the best man at his wedding. What do you think I think about him getting fined for making a joke? Fuck those guys. I'll tell you what, I do like the BBC documentary that was just up. There is no going back. The Drama Llama, yeah. The BBC documentary that just went out on Marcus is absolutely excellent, if only for the absolutely insane, politically correct comedian that refused to speak to Marcus, admitted in the documentary that he's never seen Marcus's video, but still knows he's a Nazi. And then literally after saying that, turned to his cat in the video and asked it if it wanted to gas the Jews. Twice he did that. Because he was making a joke, like the PC comedian. And the joke was Marcus, right? The joke was illustrating. He was trying to be funny. He was trying to say, see, it's not funny. You are the punchline type thing. I'm smarter than you type thing. And they're just totally missing the point that that's what they got Marcus on. That exact thing. The context of why Marcus said what he said was irrelevant to the courts, right? And the PC comedian, actually no, it wasn't. It was Steve McLean in the documentary said that the punchline of your joke isn't the Nazis. The punchline of your joke is the 6 million people that lost their lives in the Holocaust. While I disagree with that, if you are going to take that position, that it doesn't matter the context of a joke, if you're going to take that position, then anytime the Holocaust is brought up, that is at the expense of 6 million Jews. So when this PC comedian trying to ridicule Marcus literally said the thing twice, are they not the punchline? Obviously, I'm not going to argue yes, because they're not. That's not the punchline. Yeah. The really fun thing is from talking to Marcus about it, for the documentary, sorry. There was the great clips with Steve McLean, the bald comedian, who absolutely insane. I've never seen someone shouting about the chip that someone else has on their shoulder. Never. Those two things don't go hand in hand. The person that's got a chip on their shoulder is usually the ones losing their temper and shouting at everyone all the time, right? Watching this documentary, though, the Steve McLean one is the only interview that they only really used, but Marcus did these great interviews with two other comedians, and while they didn't agree on everything, they had lots of interesting philosophical and ethical discussions. Neither of these comedians felt that Marcus should have been prosecuted, I believe, but they were of the opinion that his joke was in poor taste, and that they didn't find it funny, etc. And the BBC decided to not use any of that footage. Now, why would that be? Would it be because people having a conversation is not entertaining? Would it be because the two comedians that didn't want him prosecuted were Jewish? Don't know. You tell me. He's done all right out of it though, hasn't he? So fuck it. All these ridiculous liberal comedians that are just raging about the fact that Marcus is... They hate it that he can call himself a comedian. They hate it, right? But regardless of whether or not you find someone funny, if that person makes money from making people laugh, then they're a comedian. And literally what Marcus does is he's better at this YouTube thing than I am. He's funnier than I am, of course. Like, my channel isn't about comedy, but like, I go over to his house and I see him, and he just has his head in work. Like, I'll go into his room and there'll be scripts on the side. He scripts his videos, writes them, prints them, really meticulously plans everything about the video, and that's so much more than I do in any of my videos. And yeah, amazing. Just hardworking. Never ever have I said to a group of people, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I can't do the thing that you all want to go and do because I've got work." I'm always happy to move work around to go and see my friends, but Marcus is not that. Marcus is, "Oh, I'm sorry guys, I'm not going to be able to see anyone for the next 3 days. I've got my head in this script that I'm working on, and I've got to film and edit this video," and he does all that, and YouTube have got him demonetized. Like, he does it for no reason other than he enjoys entertaining people and making people laugh. It's the reason I do what I do, right? I love entertaining people and making people laugh. Anyway. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take a slightly different approach with this, because when I was listening to it, there was a lick that jumped out at me that I thought was really, really cool. I'm going to do that, and this I'll come back to the comments in a second. But this is somewhere that, with your transcribing skills, that there's two approaches to this. So when I transcribed this Carl Plays Some Blues, I transcribed the whole thing. Now, obviously, that was relatively time consuming, and I don't need or want all of it. There were some parts in it that I really enjoyed. This particular lick here I thought was great, right? But I spent an hour transcribing this. Why not spend 2 minutes transcribing the bit that I want, transcribe the harmony so I understand how it's being used, and just learn that one thing? They're both valuable. Both good uses of your time. So I'm going to do the opposite now. Let me show this up. Clean, cool. Let me just see what these comments are. Marcus made his stance clear on that at the start of the vid. So clear he was parodising the Nazi mindset. Context pusher, political view, just wrong. That's exactly it. He said it 1,000,000 times. I've said it 1,000,000 times. The only way it functions as a joke, is if you are of the opinion that Nazis are bad. You know what I mean? Like, if you love Nazis, it doesn't function. Like, it's just a tribute. And like I've just had this moment there where I can kind of understand the insane position, the insane question of whether or not it's a joke. Some people will make the argument of whether or not it's a joke. Other people will spend their time questioning whether some things can or cannot be joked about. But anyone that, I you know what, maybe I get it all of a sudden. I mean, you're still wrong. Because you're saying he's not intending to make a joke. He's a genuine Nazi, and what he's doing is he's trying to pay tribute to the people that he loves, ignoring the context that was provided. I wanted to make something cute the most horrible thing that I can imagine, and the most horrible thing being Nazis. And despite the fact that people vouch for him, like again, one of my closest friends, one of the kindest hearted and most generous people, no racism in him. That's an interesting comment, Jake. It's actually made me think a little bit more of a comedian than a lot of his comic critics. Absolutely. I think, well, this is Nazis are the punchline. This is the point. This is why guys like Steve McLean are so raging at Marcus. Check Steve McLean out on Twitter. He's got 300 followers. You know, what's Marcus at? 300,000? Oh, my wife's back. 300,000. Doing gigs in like halls. Let's see if she waves at me. Yeah, breaks my heart the shit that I've seen those two go through. Squid 3D. I do provide the PDF, not for a PayPal donation. Okay, that's too much admin to deal with. I provide the PDFs for all of the transcriptions that I do for these streams as part of my Patreon. Now you can go and sign up to Patreon for one day, download all the transcriptions, and then leave if that's what you want to do. The goal of things like this is to get people over to the Patreon, and when they try it out, they very quickly realise, oh, cool, you get a lot of, like, I'm getting a lot out of this. This is something I enjoy. I want more of a community over there, rather than like a week kind of, here's $5 on PayPal. That's just admin that I need to be dealing with. One more thing. Anyway, I'm going to find the link. So. Okay, so now we go into this blues, right? I'm just going to mark it out. 1, 2. Now that's very similar to this. This is. This is the bit. 2, 3. So he doesn't finish it perfectly. You have an ideological opposition to Patreon. Some people have an ideological opposition to Patreon because of guys like Sargon of Akkad. And I can see that as a position. But for me, in the grand scheme of things, mate, I have an ideological opposition to PayPal. I hate PayPal. I hate how much money they skim off of absolutely everything, and how they've essentially got a monopoly, especially over here in the UK. I've had some Americans that have said, I'd really love to Venmo you some money. Venmo isn't a thing over here. I'm not sure where you're from. That resolution is lovely. Kind of makes me just want to do the whole thing. It's too late though. Let me see if my wife's messaging me. So C7. The other thing I really dig up, supporting me with books is another great way to do it. The thing with Patreon, I like it, not because it's a way for me to make money, but I support. John, I thought you left ages ago. There's a couple of comedians and podcasts that I support on Patreon. And again, not because they need my money. Like, I'm talking about podcasts that make $20,000 a month on Patreon, but I do it because I love the content that they're making, and $5 here and $5 there, just to keep making sure that content I enjoy keeps coming, and also the content creators are compensated for the sheer amount of enjoyment that I've got out of them over the years. It really pleases me. Where is this note? Oh, flat 7. I've not got 12/8 in. I'm like, why is this not displaying correctly? There we go. I love those low notes. Not opposed to people using Patreon. Totally see use and service for someone like yourself. Yeah. That's a bum note, really, isn't it? C. Now, look, this is nice. I can literally just go to here.
I'm Carl Verheyen, and
So I could just copy that. So this is like a turnaround lick that he uses. That he changed it at the end. So just copy paste. Sweet. Saves me time. Multi-voice. So let's delete that. Hate it. have to leave those out. So now I've got this cool lick. I'm the age where convincing people of my ideological bent is just too much, like hard work, live and let live, etc. I appreciate that. I do. Honestly, I do appreciate that. I think that's where we go so fucking wrong as a society, right? This need to desperately try and convince each other of our ideological positions on things. You tell Americans this and they're horrified by it. They're absolutely horrified by it, right? Donald Trump is their president. Okay, I get it. When you go online, people don't like him. But he did get voted in, right? That must mean he has a lot of support. Must have a lot of support. So that must mean there's a lot of people out there in America that maybe have a different political idea to you. And just because I don't personally like Donald Trump, or just because I think there will be better candidates for that position, right? Who am I to speak on that? I'm not an American citizen. But more importantly, I can meet people that I disagree with on things like this and still come to the conclusion of, cool, I'm glad we had that discussion. We might not agree on everything, but cool. That's not the age we live in today. We now live in a, you don't agree with me, Nazi, punch you in the face. Like, you don't get anywhere with that. You just don't get anywhere with that. And when you say that, when you have that as a position, people assume that you're right wing. I'm not. I'm so unbelievably liberal. I also just believe that people are allowed to have different opinions to me. Including the people that tell me that people shouldn't be allowed different opinions to me. I think it's great that you have that opinion. I think it's great that you can share that opinion. It's that free speech thing, right? I think it's like, freedom of speech doesn't mean freedom from consequences. True. I would never argue that freedom of speech should mean freedom from consequences. Freedom of speech should mean freedom from consequences from your government. That's the point. It makes me sound like a libertarian, right? But that's exactly the point. You should not be scared to have ideas and be able to share them through fear of being punished by your government. Sure, right? If you hate black people and you live in a community of people, then, and you choose to share that opinion, then cool. If people don't want to be your friend, like, cool. No one should be made to be your friend. No one should be made to do anything because you're a racist piece of shit, right? But I celebrate your right to share that opinion. And I celebrate my right to tell you you're wrong. If the government stepped in and told you couldn't do that, fine. Then we'd have a problem. Sorry, I'm going off on one, aren't I, again? Does anyone get ad money anymore? I mean, I make ad money on YouTube. I make about £70 a month. It's awesome. Who do I like more, Joe Satriani or Steve Vai? Definitely Joe Satriani. I've never been never been a Steve Vai fan, really. But Joe was a huge influence on me growing up. Not all Trump supporters are racist. Absolutely. But all racists are Trump supporters. Yeah. Even if that's not true, yeah. It's a good way of looking at it. Not all Trump supporters are racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. I kind of think of it in the same way that you'd think about Christianity or the Bible in general, right? Yeah, all racists are Trump supporters because they listen to the things he says and they hear support of their ideas in there. It's like Christians with the Bible. Like, all Christians are different and they have different ideas of the Bible because they can read it and find the thing that they want in there and perceive it in the way they want. So yeah, and that's exactly it for me, Squid. I just love the drama of the whole thing. Just absolutely love it. I absolutely love people going out of their minds with frustration when really in the grand scheme of things, the issue is not who's in control, who's in charge. The issue is us at the bottom and how we deal with each other on our day-to-day dealings with each other, because there are people out there that have different ideas to you, and that's all right. In fact, that should be celebrated, because if they didn't, then we'd all be living in same land, and that's no fun. Yeah, Dylan, absolutely. Like, I'm very libertarian in my perspectives on things. unbelievably libertarian. When push comes to shove, I describe myself as socially liberal, but economically conservative. That's it. Lead your life however you want to lead your life. Okay? Trans, gay, identify as a cat. Don't care. Be happy. You being happy makes me happy. That's all that matters to me. Just go out and be happy. But it's the old classic, right? I'm not racist, but as soon as your happiness encroaches on the other your fellow citizens' abilities to lead their lives the way that they want to lead their lives, then you have a problem. Yeah, I hate it. It's so cliche, but my right to swing my fist ends where your face begins. Levi for BNP, yeah. Love, kindness, happiness. That's what I'm all about. Apart from when it comes to the economy, where I'm a lot more conservative in my views on things. So. But it's alright, guys. Keep calling me a Nazi because I know Count Dankula. Right, is there any more I can do on this? Let's have a look. There you go. Trump got elected because the American left is doing a shite job. Yeah. I agree with you, Russell. Absolutely agree with you. There's no doubt in my mind that Trump 2020 is happening. No doubt in my mind. He's incredible. Not as a president, but I see people post tweets of his on Facebook, like screenshots of tweets, and I read these things and I'm like, that's got to be fake. That's got to be photoshopped. It's absolutely got to be photoshopped. So I go on over to Twitter to take a look because I'm not a big Twitter user, and there it is, plain as day. Oh shit! Yep, that he actually did say exactly what that tweet said. Amazing. So I think he's an absolute lolcow. But at the same time, when he takes issue of you are fake news. There is so much of that. There is so much bullshit in mainstream media. And people are starting to see it. It's being pointed out. They're getting caught in these webs of lies all the time. And it's destroying people's trust with the media. I'm looking at the situation with Colin Moriarty of Colin's Last Stand. I say conservative, but classic conservative. Games journalist. He's probably my go-to guy for games journalism because he's a journalist first and foremost. He has probably the biggest PlayStation podcast out there. Support it on Patreon. And they just got deplatformed from him, and Chris Reagan just got deplatformed from PAX. Why? They didn't get given a reason. Now we all know why. And it's the same thing that Colin has been saying for years and years and years. The games media doesn't need diversity of, people. I'm not saying diversity is a bad thing, but what it really needs is diversity of ideas. It's great to have people from different perspectives writing about the thing that you love. Unfortunately, games media is so unbelievably left-leaning. Not even leaning, it's so left. It pushes out entire communities of people because, believe it or not, conservatives play video games too. So, point is, the reason I bring this up is you're not going to see any mainstream media cover that. Why would they? A conservative got deplatformed. Cool. Nothing to make a song and dance about here. Thank you, Dylan. It's all we can ever ask for, right? Is to be logically consistent, or at least attempt to be. And be, I'm not hugely into politics in general. It's not something that interests me. But one of the things I do watch week in, week out, is shows like The Atheist Experience. I love watching guys like Matt Dillahunty talk. I spent years, listening to all of Christopher Hitchens' debates and things, and it's philosophy, right? It's thought. It's how we think. That is so much more interesting to me, and I'd rather watch that. I'd rather hear people talking about their philosophies on things, and again, some of the aspects of some of the presenters on the Atheist Experience, I know that I wouldn't agree with them on all things, but still good to hear people of vastly different opinions, in this case theological ones, discussing and having conversations with each other, disagreeing on things and trying to up their game with each other, listening to each other's points and trying to be logically consistent. So yeah. Do you think the social climate we're enforcing is fostering the darkest parts of our evolutionary traits? I agree with you. What do I think of Sargon of Akkad? I think he's an idiot. And actually, the problem with Sargon is it's kind of like the same as me, right? I can say it jokingly, but he can't. He thinks he's an intellectual, and he's not. He's simply not. What he loves to do is name check. Have you read this book? Have you read this book? Well, I was having a conversation with this person. I completely agree with you on that, Squid 3D. Completely agree with you on that. Sometimes he gets a little bit crazy left. He can be logically inconsistent with things like that. Anyway, Sargon, intellectual heavyweight, right? Just loves to appear intelligent, wants people to think of him as an intellectual heavyweight, and I just enjoy watching him have when he was having his beef with Jim, Mr. Matica. Does it Matica? One of those fucking guys. Wasn't Matica. I don't follow this entire fucking thing. Anyway, he was using the word grooming. He was saying he grooms people. He's a groomer. And we all know what that means. But Sargon wasn't using it in the way people don't use it. He would, slyly smile and say, yeah, well, I think you'll find the meaning of grooming is... It was Matica, yeah. The meaning of grooming is... And then go off on one where it's not the point. You are not calling him a groomer for any reason other than you want to imply that he's a sexual predator. That was the goal, and the fact that you had this thing you could fall back on where you could say, well, I think you'll find the meaning of the word is, and I had this discussion with Marcus. It's like, it's a Matt Dillahunty thing, to be honest, though I'm sure he didn't say it first, but I heard him say this and it made so much sense. Words don't have meanings. Words have usages. Meanings of words change over time with their usage. So you can't default to the meaning of a word. You have to default to the usage of a word. And something like that doesn't matter to Carl because he thinks he's being smart. He went into the UKIP thing. The difference between Marcus and Sargon when they did the UKIP thing is it was Marcus's idea and he did it to be funny. It was supposed to be funny. And that's the reason Marcus didn't make that much of a song and dance about it, but when Sargon got involved with it, it wasn't just this will be funny. It was, I'm going to tour around the UK and I'm going to set up tables and I'm going to debate with people and I'm going to show everybody how intelligent I am. Marcus wasn't interested in doing that because that's not funny. Unless you're making people laugh, what's the point? The funniest thing that Sargon managed to achieve, well, two funny things. One was getting milkshaked and having fish thrown at him. That was great. But the other thing was absolutely tanking UKIP. Absolutely tanking UKIP. So, yeah. Politics, exercise and tribalism. So, right to favour philosophy. Yeah. Tribalists in music, yeah, we're the worst. That's not real metal. Oh, hate them. Absolutely hate them. Anyway, guys, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. My wife is, I'm going to... That's me signaling that I want her to warm up my dinner that she made for me. Squid 3D, that's that entire scene. They're all into it. They are all so into that. It's the drama. And sure, like I have had drama with like Tom Hess, and I've had drama with Lars, what's his name, Lance Benedict. There's been a few other people I've beefed with, and it's not for the drama. There's a genuine point every single time. It's because I'm trying to make the community that we are in better and protecting people in our community, or at least it comes from a genuinely good place. Whereas those guys, they just lap it up. It's like the Kill Stream and Andy Warski and the Ralph Retort. It's all beef. It's all just sucking people into beef. And yeah, not interested. Ever watched Of course, George Carlin, legend. George Carlin, great. Sargon is a fool. I agree with you. He was at Marcus's wedding. I said hello. Said nice to meet you. That was as far as it went. Like I met Tommy Robinson, and on the one hand, I got to call him a fanny to his face. On the other hand, I got to say, thanks for helping my buddy out. Still think you're a fanny. It's all right. You can have these huge, diametrically opposed ideas, and still accept that we're humans. I don't think Dank really did run riot with the UKIP thing. Anyway, guys, I really do need to run. I'm going to do a little bit more of this transcribing tomorrow. It's going to go up on my Patreon page. Let me bring this up. It's going to go up on my Patreon page for my transcription challenge tier. That's $5. So anyone that supports me on Patreon for $5 will get access to these PDFs. Squid, if you really want access, it was you, wasn't it? If you really want access to these, you can PayPal me the $5, and I'll consider that you as being part of the Patreon page, and I'll add you to the Facebook group, okay? And then you'll be able to get access to PDFs and shit, all right? Because I get it. If people don't want to be part of Patreon, that's cool. I totally appreciate that, and I wouldn't want that to get in the way of things that I've done that you want access to. But also at the same time, I can't just be firing these out to people because, it is supposed to be a Patreon perk. Lastly, check out some of my books. Fake Sargon. I do like being called Fake Sargon. Check out some of my books. Check out VPix. Like, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I really do enjoy these things. Thank you so much for making them so fun, getting involved, and you guys rock. And I will be back next month to do another full hours and hours of streaming. When will that be? That'll be on the 30th of August, hopefully. So looking forward to it. Oh, what we got? Whilst you were a student of classical guitar, did you I was terrible at flamenco. It's one of the things that stopped me playing classical guitar because I could not get the rasguado technique down the way it should be. You should lead with the little finger when you're doing rasguado, and I couldn't do that. I could only ever lead with the first finger and felt so wrong. Also, I wouldn't maintain my nails in the way that I needed to in order to get a good tremolo technique. So that got in the way of me ever being good at classical guitar. So, I have to say no on that one. Night Dude, I'm not taking my shirt off. I should steal one of his streams. That was good fun. Anyway, much love, guys, and I will see you for another video soon. Laters.